Hey everyone, I'm Nico from Licks of the Beast, and in this video I'm going to talk about the gear I use live with my Iron Maiden tribute band, Maiden Canada. As some of you know, I use audio plugins exclusively for all my YouTube and Instagram videos, mainly Bias FX2 and Neural DSP. Now, I don't ever use an actual amplifier just because I find plugins sound great and they're both practical and easy to use. Live, however, I still use an amp and some effects pedals. So let me take you through it all, starting with the amplifier. My main amp is this Trainer YCV50B. It's a 50 watt all-tube combo with a single Celestion Vintage 30 12-inch speaker. A Trainer is a Canadian company and their amps are designed and built in Canada. This amp has two channels, clean and overdrive, with an added gain boost. What I like about this one in particular is that the clean channel is sort of like a Fender and the gain channel is more like a Marshall. So you're kind of getting the best of both worlds with little compromise. My settings on this amp aren't much different from those of my plugins. I keep the bass at around 5 or 6, the treble at 6 or 7, the mid is about halfway, the gain is set to 6, and the volume is at 7. The master will be anywhere between 4 and 6, depending on the venue and situation. For the clean channel, I keep everything close to the middle and then I'll tweak it as needed. This amp also has a really nice spring reverb and I like to keep that somewhere around 3. I also like that I don't have to use a distortion pedal, as the gain channel with the boost engaged gives me a great basic sound for classic metal that I can then shape a little bit with the use of effect pedals. I like to keep my pedal train pedal board quite simple and clean with just some very basic pedals. In front of the amp I have a Boss tuner, a wah pedal that I use for just a few solos like The Number of the Beast, Wrathchild, and sometimes 2 Minutes to Midnight. Then I have my trusty Ibanez tube screamer with the drive at around 4, the tone anywhere between 4 and 6 depending on the guitar I'm using, the room, and how the amp is responding that night. And the level is usually kept at the midway point. In the effects loop, I have a Donner chorus, which I keep on most of the time just to give the sound a little more body and a bit more depth. Then I have a sub and up octave pedal, which I rarely use, an Echoplex delay that I normally use only on the solos and on the occasional clean part. Like for example on Fear of the Dark, I play Yannick's parts and during his melody line at the beginning and the ending of the song, I'll turn the Echoplex on. And finally, I have this MXR microamp that I use as a clean volume boost. I keep it somewhere between 4 and 6, and it really makes my solos come through loud and clear every time. At the moment, I'm using 2 guitars for live shows. The first is my Jackson Adrian Smith SDX, and it's been modified a little bit from the stock version. Nothing major, I just replaced the stock pickups with all Seymour Duncans, a JB Trembucker in the bridge, a classic stack in the middle position, and a vintage hot stack in the neck position. I also replaced the trem arm and coupling with a German original, as the one from the Floyd Rose Special just doesn't hold it in place. No matter how much I tightened it, it kept getting loose after a few seconds of playing and would kind of just hang there. The German original piece keeps the arm in place wherever I position it. I actually made a review video about this guitar, so I'll link that in the description and at the end of the video for those of you who would like to know more about it. My second guitar is a 1982 Ibanez Destroyer DT50. Now this isn't the same one Sarah got me 2 Christmases ago. That one is the DT300, same as Adrian played in his early years with the band. It's completely original and it does not leave my house. The DT50 is almost the exact same guitar, only it had chrome hardware instead of gold and a bolt-on neck instead of a set neck. And while the DT300 was a Japan-only guitar, the DT50 was actually intended for the North American market, which is why these are a little less difficult to find here. And if you want to know more about my DT300, I also have a video about that one, which I'll link to the description as well. So I found this DT50 on Kijiji, and my reasoning was that it's a vintage Destroyer that looks exactly the same as the DT300, but it's not fully original and not in impeccable shape, so I won't feel like I have to baby it too much. So it'll make a great live guitar. Now the original V2 pickup was replaced with a second Super 58, which is a great pickup, but not as hot as the V2, which is basically Ibanez's version of the Super Distortion. I didn't want to spend the money to get an original V2 pickup from Japan, so I just had a DiMarzio Super Distortion put in there instead. The bridge and tailpiece are not original, and I don't know what parts these are, but I can't find anything else that fits without having to modify the body, so I'm just leaving them on there as they are for now. The original owner had also tried to file the frets himself and ended up mangling them pretty badly, so the frets had to be replaced. So before our first show, I brought the guitar to my luthier to be set up, and he also did a wonderful job of getting the frets cleaned up and playing smoothly without any dead spots or buzzing, which I'm extremely picky about. The last part of my setup is this Xvive U2 digital wireless system. Now this thing makes it so easy to move around on stage without having to worry about accidentally tripping over my cable and either disconnecting it or falling on something or someone, or both. It operates on the 2.4 GHz ISM band. It's got 4 channels with a really low latency of just 6 milliseconds, so it feels no different from using a cable. The sound is surprisingly good, and I can't notice any difference at all from being plugged in with a good quality cable. Xvive lists the battery life at 5 hours, but I pushed it to over 6 hours before I had to charge it, and that's because I had a rehearsal the next day and wanted a full charge. And after that long, it was still working. And this is great because although I will always charge it the day before a gig, it's great to know that if I happen to forget to charge it, I'll still be able to use it. So I absolutely love this thing, and it retails for like 200 Canadian, 155 US, so great price point as well. Now, in the interest of full disclosure and for your entertainment, I have a pretty crazy story about this wireless system. Originally, I was going to mark this video as having a paid promotion because Xvive contacted me about trying out one of their products for review. I was really curious to try out their U2 wireless system, so I agreed to give it a try and to talk about it in one of my videos if I liked it. Now I get offers to review products now and then, and I usually decline just because in most cases I don't think the product is relevant to my channel and wouldn't be interesting to my viewers. But a good wireless system can be a great thing for guitarists and bass players, so I was very excited about trying this one out. And I'm glad I did because it's become an important part of my live setup. So as I was saying earlier, I brought my Ibanez Destroyer to get some fretwork done just a few days before my very first shows with Maiden Canada. So my luthier, awesome guy that he is, managed to get it done by the day of the first show. I didn't think to buy strap locks for it, and by the time I realized it, it was too late and I had to get to the venue to load in. So I'm thinking, okay, no big deal, I'm using the Jackson for most of the show, I just won't move around too much while I'm using the Destroyer, it'll be fine, and then tomorrow I'll get strap locks. So I'm on stage, and at the end of one of the songs, I think it might have been Power Slave, I lift the guitar up like this, which made the strap come off the button a little bit. So when I let the guitar drop, the weight of the guitar just made it drop all the way to the floor with a loud bang. My 1982 Ibanez Destroyer dropped straight down from my shoulders to the ground, and I swear I could feel my heart in my throat. Because it's quite bottom heavy, it dropped this way, and as luck would have it, the input is located at the bottom of the back of the guitar. So the guitar landed directly on the wireless transmitter, which was, sadly, crushed beyond repair. My friends, this Xvive receiver is my hero. It gave its life to save my vintage guitar, and for that, I'll be forever grateful. I finished the gig with a cable, but I much preferred the freedom that the wireless gave me. And since I had another gig the following day, I actually stopped by Long and McQuaid, that's the Canadian equivalent of Guitar Center, I guess, on the way to load in, and I bought a brand new Xvive U2 wireless unit and a set of Schaller strap locks that I made sure to install as soon as I got to the venue. I've been using Schaller strap locks for years, and I've installed them on pretty much every guitar I've ever played live. They're awesome, well designed, they make things easy, and they keep my guitars safe. To be clear, I like the Xvive U2 wireless unit so much that I went out and bought a new one out of pocket. And because of that, I'm not marking this as having a paid promotion. I think they're great units, and I absolutely recommend them. And that's all I have for you this week. I hope you enjoyed this video. Let me know in the comments section if you have any questions. Thank you for watching. And after a few videos without any guitar playing, do stay tuned for more licks of the beast.